Then folks, Jacob here. Today we're going to be talking about the Drake Interplanetary Kraken, and then we'll follow with a channel/subscriber update for those interested. For those unaware, this is a Drake ship, or in other words, the Drake ship. Before we dive into the Kraken, we'll take a small dive into the history and present tense of Drake Interplanetary. See the video chapters to skip ahead if you so wish. Now, Drake Interplanetary is a ship manufacturer in the Star Citizen persistent universe. They create many ships, most notably and firstly the Cutlass Black, generally referred to as the Cuddy Black as far as actual citizens/players are concerned. And even before the ship left the factory floor, Drake Interplanetary had already, perhaps unintentionally, displayed very much an outlaw image for themselves, and an established one at that. Although this whole "are Drake responsible for piracy" thing is pretty much an ongoing matter, one of which likely won't ever be resolved, given that as far as lore is concerned, this has been a matter for over 100 years. So Drake Interplanetary are based out of the Magnus system. Oddly enough, this just so happens to be next door to Stanton. Stanton, of course, is the one and only system in the persistent universe at present. Magnus only has 3 planets. With that in mind, perhaps this system will be after Pyro, for all we know. But in my opinion, it sounds like a walk in the park compared to Pyro. So moving on, they have their HQ on the second planet of Magnus, Brea. This was once a large UEE naval base, we're talking several hundred years ago, which was then abandoned for hundreds of years, for Drake Interplanetary to have their HQ there, claiming many of the previous UEE shipyards/repair facilities to now be part of the ship production for Drake Interplanetary. I'm just going to call them Drake from now on, because that's a bit of a mouthful. So the idea behind the Drake ships is basically make cheap ships, make them, or most of them, modular, such as is the case with the Drake Caterpillar. Although the modular aspects of the ship in general has yet to be introduced, the Caterpillar will be quite the modular ship, with its individual sections, tractor beam station, etc. Its current intention is to be a cargo ship, of which it does very well as of the current state of the game, with its 576 SCU of cargo. However, likely this is going to be overtaken by the Crusader Starlifter, the C2 to be precise. But the possibilities of the modularity of this ship, this will make the Caterpillar, I'm going to call it the Cat from now on, this will make the Caterpillar evolve into something else for sure. And that, in all fairness, is what I'm hoping the Kraken will be able to do. And in all honesty, this seems to be possible, as per the Kraken privateer. The Kraken itself, this is one of 3 ships that CIG allowed players to decide. You pick the next Drake ship, as the contest was literally called. You can see a link for this video in the description and the annotation at the top right. The other winners being the Vulture and the Corsair, the salvage and exploration boats respectively. I kind of dig the whole asymmetrical appearance of the Corsair, but honestly I have enough ships on my mind that puts this way down my list. But anyway, the Kraken is the Drake flagship, pretty much their holy grail, a light carrier with the capacity to have 8 ships, 2 medium-sized ships on the top deck, i.e. Cuddy Blacks, 4 further ships on the top deck toward the side, and lastly a further 2 internally to the Kraken, all of which are small ships. Initially I kind of wondered where these 2 would exit the ship from, and when I say 2, I mean the internal 2 ships. Initially, I thought it might be via the medium ship docks, where they can just lift out of that area, perhaps. Much like the hangars on planets, where the roof opens up. However, it turns out you can access these from the right-hand side of the ship, as per this image, of which you can see the 2 hangars below the 4 small ship decks, and of course the docking collar to the right just there. And of course, moving on, what is a ship overview video without stating the actual stats of the ship? So, both variants of the Kraken feature a large radar, 6 medium computers, 4 capital fuel intakes, 2 capital fuel tanks, a capital quantum drive, jump and quantum fuel tank, 2 capital power plants, coolers and shield generators, So that is the stats. I haven't found out why exactly both variants of the Kraken have 4 capital-sized fuel intakes, as this particular ship, both variants of the Kraken, isn't advertised anywhere as a fast ship. Additionally, given that the Drake ships aren't the most armoured ships, compared to the likes of pretty much every other manufacturer, expect the mass to be low, meaning that if this ship is as fast as the stats potentially imply, expect it to be that little bit faster than you think. Do bear in mind, however, this is speculation, and it having 4 capital fuel tanks could easily be an error. The only difference in its stats is the thrusters, where the privateer has 3 additional main thrusters available compared to the regular Kraken, where the regular Kraken has 8 available. I'm not sure why these are different. I'm fully expecting this to be an error at present. Furthermore, moving on to weapons. These again are both the same, with a single manned turret with a size 8 gun, 2 per mount with 1 total mount. This basically is the anti-large ship gun, much like the size 10 gun featured on the Idris M. I have yet to find this gun on any of the images on the RSI site or on its ship advertisement commercial. However, what I will say is towards the end of the commercial, you can see at the very front of the ship there's a large gun and a smaller gun, whereas those size guns are actually reversed on the interior layout model if you have a look at the front there. Furthermore, the ship features 4 manned size 6 turrets with 2 mounts per mount, followed by 4 remote size 5 turrets with 2 per mount. This makes a size 8, 4 size 6, and 4 size 5 turrets respectively. The ship has a lot of firepower from these turrets, around twice that of the Hammerhead. Potentially the idea is to get up close and outmaneuver other ships, given its large velocity potential. However, this theory doesn't particularly plan out, given you can't really outmaneuver in this kind of size of a ship. Unless maybe you're up against, say, Vandal capital ships, maybe a Javelin, Bengal, or even a Retribution. Now, of course, this is all speculation, and this just sounds insane to me if this were to be true. And honestly, for this kind of role that I'm kind of portraying the Kraken to do, Polaris would do it a lot better, because it is meant to be fast, and it has size 10 torps, so that would do a lot better. But it wouldn't quite survive as long as the Kraken would do. But then again, the Kraken isn't portrayed as being able to get right into the middle of the battle. It seems like it's designed to be maybe 10 or 15 kilometers out and send its fighters towards it. That doesn't make sense given the firepower on the Kraken. So I'm not sure exactly where the Kraken is actually meant to be in a fight. Is it meant to be like brawling? Like up close with everything? The commercial would indicate that that's the case, but is it really going to survive that long? I'm not sure. Furthermore, looking at the ship itself, with its facilities, there isn't a whole lot there in regards to actual facilities. And I'm referring to things like a mess hall, an armory, and a medical bay. The facilities it does have, however, is pretty much a dragonfly bay. And that seems to be it. And I'm not even sure I'd even call that a facility. Otherwise, this ship is pretty much a bridge, accommodation, hallways, internal trams, engineering, hallways, cargo holds, captain quarters, and I'm not sure if I already mentioned hallways. There is a lot of hallways. And what I will say, however, is there is likely room for a medical bay, perhaps somewhere around the bridge to as far back as the engineering. The Kraken Privateer Q&A specifically specifies, now I'll link this Q&A in the description and the annotation, but the Q&A specifies that they were thinking about adding it. And honestly, in my opinion, I'm not sure I would bother. And now the reason would be you have a Cutty Red or a Cutlass Red. You could easily put this on the top deck and call it good. And honestly, that seems to me like a very Drake thing to do. And that is the whole idea behind not having escape pods on the Kraken or the Privateer. And literally your evac is literally the ships on the top deck. And you could have a medical bay there as well. What I would put in the ship, however, is a mess hall at the very least. At least maybe to an extent. Now, looking at the concept images, there is a table and whatnot outside the habs, And I think that is possibly where their like kind of makeshift mess hall would be. Maybe just shove a few more tables than are actually in this image, and that might be all well and good. And the caterpillar does this as well, where there's a few beds, there's just a table in the middle, and that might work all well and good. Furthermore, the Kraken looks like a whole load of wasted space, in my opinion. As far as an armory, it could be very Drake, in my opinion, just to put gun cabinets everywhere. So maybe not even an armory would be required in the ship. Although maybe even an arc light hidden under your pillow at night, that may well be enough, depending on the type of person that you are, perhaps. If you're just a regular crew person or a captain, maybe you'd do that. But otherwise, having gun racks everywhere and cabinets, that could be a good way of going. This video is getting kind of long for my style of video, so we'll be closing up real soon. For now, however, I want to do a very small sort of subscriber update. As of recently, I did, of course, order a shotgun mic, the Rode NTG4. However, I'm not using that right now. I'm still using the Rode NT USB, and the reason being because the issues with my audio is not actually the mic, it's actually the pumps inside the computer for my water cooling. Now, there are replacements on the way with variable pump speeds, so that'll most definitely help with the audio. That is going to result in a teardown of the computer. You know, that's all well and good. Won't even be any more than a day, which is all well and good. And of course, you'll notice my upload schedule is a little bit off. I did say typically it would be every day. For the last several videos, it has been every 2 days. I mean, that is kind of as a result of the longer, more quality-minded videos such as this. Anyway, I do hope this video is to people's liking. Obviously, let me know in the comments below and give the video a like if this is the sort of content you're interested in. Thank you ever so much for watching. Today's video sponsor is the like button for the glorious YouTube algorithm. That'll of course allow this channel to grow with your support. Obviously don't forget to comment or subscribe. If you aren't already aware, I generally upload daily, so be sure to check back. My name is Jacob, thank you, and goodbye for now.